Alright, welcome back. We are going to check out 1044 here on Old Burg using pearl barley and our fake bream mix just to see how active this spot still is as we move into bream time. I probably will not stay the whole night though. I do want to go down to the pond over at the bridge at the boot basically and see how that spot's looking as we get into the early morning hours. And if this spot is still pretty active with bream, remember if you do have garlic dough unlocked, it probably will work even better with garlic dough. But it seems like pearl barley's been working okay if this spot is as active as it has been. Nice Crucian there. But we've got size 6 because I don't have a third 8 yet, and then 8, 8. And I do have the bigger leader on this one, the 7.5, with the 5.4 fluorocarbon on the other two. So kind of back to our normal setup. And then we'll transition to some different setups for the boot area. Within the next in-game hour or two, we should see the bream sizes pick up dramatically. But you'll occasionally get a marker before then if the spot's is pretty healthy. We do have it on 18-meter clip. I sometimes do a longer clip from this spot, but I originally started with 18, so I thought I would try that again. It may be far enough to hit the good bream. Yeah, that was a nice one. thing that's a little bit scarier in this spot with the garlic dough is, at least on my main account when I tested it a few days ago, occasionally you're catching grass carp here on the garlic dough, which is unusual, but we have not run into that on pearl barley yet, I don't think. It's also a marker. Well, early returns suggest that this spot is still really good. Very consistent bite rate, looks like. I don't know what this is. Okay, smallest bream I've ever seen. I don't think I'm quite casting full enough there to hit the 18 meter mark. That just did it. It's a fuller cast than I realized. That should be a marker. And we got some juicy points in bottom fishing. quite 18 meters on 74%. Close, but not quite. There we go. Well, we're getting awfully close to hitting a new level here, aren't we? There is at least a chance we could level up on a roach in this spot. I know everyone in chat would be excited to see that reality. Ooh! Nice bream for Nivola. Level 20. Nice eel. Now, the smart thing to do, being in this position where bream are biting, is that we should spend all of our resources leveling up harvesting bait so that we can get garlic dough. We're not that far off. We just have to make a bunch of semolina and keep digging. But we'll see. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. I do want to be saving silver a lot at this point too, so. It seems like as we got into prime bream time, our bites really died off on that first rod that doesn't have the fluorocarbon leader on it. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence. I'm going to recast it because we're going to move here soon. We're not going to stay here for the whole bream time. I think I also cast it short last time. That could also be a part of it. see. Reaper, level 33. Welcome to the in-game chat. Blue tag. I like to see the blue tags. It's a roach, isn't it? This is about when I was thinking about moving, so we're not going to give it much longer. What'd we end up with? I mean, obviously there's a lot of bream time left, but yeah, this spot's still good. 5 over a kilo already. And I think if you have garlic dough, you're probably even averaging a little bigger weight maybe. Another really nice one. All right, so let's put this on there. Well, you know what? We'll probably put an 8 on this one, actually. Ooh. I can't believe I'm walking away from this bream spot when it's doing so good right now, but I did want to test, see if we could get lucky on an eel at the boot one more time down in the pond. And then I wanted to fish there in the morning, so okay, so we want to go with that. 8, and on this one we'll do 12. Which means on this one we can now do 8. Just trying to lower the chances of getting in too much trouble on a big grass carp. That's cool. Caught a Crucian. Alright, let's run up to the boot. The boot. I always call it the pond, but I think a lot of people call it the boot because of its shape. But I always refer to it as the pond. It's technically a part of the main water. It's just so separated from the bridge. And this is the wrong bridge. And we will switch these back to feeder. Once it gets to be a little bit more towards sun up to try to hit the big Crucian. Right now we're going to try to hit an eel. You getting chilly?
Okay.
Seems like you're bundling up.
It's okay.
I'll turn the air cool.
I'm used to it.
There's like no question that LSU dude's going first, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it would be shocking if
Yeah.
it doesn't happen.
Or I guess more possible would be a trade maybe.
Right.
But I think it's Cincinnati's going to take him.
Did you know we lost power briefly earlier?
Well,
today?
I could tell because the computer was off. And not in standby mode, it was like all the way off.
I mean, it was not even long enough, at least for the clock downstairs.
Yeah.
To reset. I should look in the printer room.
Well, like this one has, I think, enough like backup battery or something where it didn't fully turn off, but the streaming computer, the old one, was all the way gone. So instead of ending up with 12 bream over a kilo, we're going to end up with staring at our rods for a little while, hoping for an eel. So we could buy a few more of the semolina ingredients. They are cheapest here at Old Burg groceries. And if there's any of the older ones we want to make, so like if I want any additional wheat grain has just changed though. It's more expensive now to make wheat grain, so it's like what, 10 silver to make it once, and you get like 64. So it's a little more dicey if you don't get points for it. Sweet dough or oatmeal. How much do we have? We could definitely make more sweet dough. A good bit more. We probably should do that first. And then oatmeal, we're probably good. I mean, we don't use oatmeal a ton. But make more sweet dough and then make more semolina. It's probably a decent strategy. See how many points we can get. Okay, it's 3 a.m. So like within the next hour, we want to switch over to Crucian gibble bait, I think. Ground bait, that is. Might even go ahead and do it on the third line now. I wanted to see what this fish was, but let's go ahead and put this back on cage with Crucian gibble. Come on, fish. Don't just nibble, take it. Maybe the hook's too size. Maybe it wasn't too small. Maybe it was an eel, a big old eel, and it's not going to take it now. deal. Perfect timing. I'm not going to give this first line too much longer, and then we'll switch it over to. So I guess somebody's having a concert within Fortnite tonight. Is that right? Is it Travis Scott or something? I don't know. What's his name? That's weird. Fortnite has 829,000 viewers on Twitch right now.
What are you telling me, Tony?
I was saying 829,000 viewers on Fortnite right now on Twitch. So almost a million people. Because somebody's doing a concert from within the game. Some rapper. Yeah. Travis Scott concert. I am not very familiar with Travis Scott's oeuvre. Alright, this might be a tinge. Oh, it is a Crucian. Oh, look at that. Hey. That's pretty fun. That is our first Crucian trophy on this account. Thanks again to Patrick and So Toxic for recommending this. Nightcrawler for Crucian mornings. Zali, I don't know if I've seen you here before. Welcome, though. Oh. I'm trying to figure out what. So dead goldfish just caught 2 trophy chub, like back to back, basically. He said he was using a ground bait that I had a video on. Oh, that's what he's using. Gold baits. Interesting. I wonder if they also are biting on grasshoppers or maggots. I don't know. They might be. But those are two nice chubs for sure. Another nice Crucian. Wow. Did he just catch a 3rd? That's amazing. He said, I'm on fire. Zalay said, jump in the water. What's the spot, chub? I bet he's at that tree on Winding. 107, 101. Anywhere in the deeper part of the channel in small pool. Okay. It may be hard to replicate that without using the fancy baits, though. But you still could get some decent chub if they're that active. They like grasshoppers and maggots for sure. Yeah, morning time for sure. Early morning usually. Let's see if other folks, yep, Winding, redworm, grasshopper, and on spinning. Interesting. So that's kind of a cool spot because you could put 2 feeders in with grasshoppers and then work on getting your spin fishing up a little bit. All right, so we need to switch. Perch. All right, so it's like 8:43. I think we should probably switch. Well, do we think the tench are going to show up? I don't know. I kind of feel like trying out other baits here, though, while we're sitting here for a little bit longer. I mean, bread's going to work really good. Let's see what semolina does, though. Wait, test is on rod, right? Not reel. There's not a test on reels, correct? The only test is on rods. Two to 10 gram. Right. Okay, so first on semolina was pretty small. Well, let's just throw in bread, see what bread does. So his minimum cast on his reel is 5.5. Our minimum test. I'm like, how do you see that? Is that just on casting? Maybe that's just on the casting rods? I don't know. I'm not on my main account, so I can't see. I don't know if I realized that there was a minimum test you had to use on reels. I'm gonna have to get on my main account in a minute and look that up after we do this video. Alright, we did get the trophy Crucian though. It just seems like the Nightcrawler's bite rate's really small. But eventually what we're going to catch are the carp and stuff in this spot. Oh, I think that's what we just did. Alright, let's see if it pops off there. Let me get these rods and reels in. If it pops, it pops, but that's another nice Crucian, and that's on bread. That's almost a trophy. And then this is something small on Nightcrawlers. Oh, it wasn't on there. Okay. It may be debatable, like what decreases the chance of this fish just popping off my hook any second now. Doing this and trying to let it get tired and keeping, you know, tension, or sort of walking it down a little bit and decreasing the chance, or decreasing the time that we're fighting it. I think if it's going to pop off, it's just going to pop off though, so we'll just stay here. Sometimes the time you lose the fish is the time you start moving around. Even if you do keep tension in it, if you still start walking, it just feels like it gets a little dangerous. But this happened last time, and this is sort of, I mean, we were doing this, fighting it for a minute, and then it just sort of popped off out of nowhere. We'll see if that happens again. This isn't quite as big as the last one, or not as strong at least. do think these Adriaticas are pretty cool looking reels. So larger hooks, and we still didn't avoid this. Which I don't mind this every once in a while, but it's very inefficient. Especially if it's a grass carp, like the amount of XP and silver it's worth is not, it's not ever worth the amount of time it takes to get it in. But if you're just looking to try to catch big fish, even at an early level, like this is something you can do. You're pretty well protected by the pond. It can't really spool you. It's the first time we've really made progress. Reeling it a little bit towards us. What we have to be careful of here is if it gets a second or third wind or whatever and pulls real hard, we don't want to just pull the hook right out of its mouth. I'd say it's a common, right? Not a get grass. It just looks too dark to be a grass carp. Which, that would be good news. I guess it could be a black carp. That would also be good news. But it does kind of look like a common to me. Compared to what we normally catch on our main account, it will be a embarrassingly little common. But for this account, it'll be good. So that's how long it takes to wear out a common carp that is 12.4 kilos. Okay. Well, that will probably be our largest fish for quite a while. So the 1.39 kilo eel was more experienced than that common? Wow. Tench have not been biting this day for whatever reason. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up soon, but we'll That's funny. So what do we have on here right now? Bread and worms, and then one night crawler left. Bread and worms should be kicking it here, though. There we go. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Those fatty Crucians. So a little bit of friction brake damage there, I'm sure. Alright, let's see what's on the worm. Perch. Pearl barley. Perch. Alright. Well, let's go see if we made any money. The only downside, well, one downside to catching those big common carp or even like eels is we're going to level way too fast. Which doesn't really matter. We just, in terms of silver, we're nowhere near ready to go to quarry. But getting there. Because Corey is 16, right? Yeah. And then Bear is 18. So we try to use Corey to earn money to be ready for Bear. And then we slide right into my favorite lake, which is Volkov. If the series makes it that far. Alright, so 57 silver for the... We're very fortunate on that common carp order. But the carp itself is worth 21 silver, so more than double by hitting that cafe order. That's pretty huge. And we also got the 41 silver bream order. So that's over 100 order, just 100 silver just on those 2 cafe orders. Pretty nice. I like it. So we made some good money here at Burg. Dang. We almost cleared 200 silver. Well, that helps a ton. So if we're going to do Corey, I know stuff's expensive here, so I'm not really looking at the prices too closely, or the prices will be a little cheaper, but like I said before, I think the smallest we go would be like this. So a couple of these for a little over 400 silver at Mosquito, I think. And then we have one reel we could start off using it on, but we need a second reel. And the cheapest option might be... I mean, do we just go second Adriatica? I think we want at least that 7.5. Maybe that's what we do. I don't know why, but I've used a Hercules before, and I really liked it, especially like on a picker rod or something, like because it kind of fits the. It's like a smaller, cool-looking little reel. And then the other thing we'll have to do is when it gets closer to time, we'll probably have to get a couple more spinners. And then we also need to be thinking about Hunter ones. And these are expensive too, but we'll need a couple of these. And then maybe a couple other random spoons. Some of them are a little cheaper. These are very cheap and they can work. I mean, any of these spoons can work once you unlock spoons, but you know, that's not a bad deal. You just can't use a lot of it till later, but you get a variety of spoons. Some of those might be hard to find stock-wise. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'd pick our own. But I definitely think getting maybe some of the bigger 7-gram Aquila spinners might be a good idea to start off with at Corey if we don't have spoons unlocked yet. You could definitely catch stuff there off of spinners. And then I like these guys. They're just so daggum expensive. I guess we would just check the weeklies closer to time. And then we got to figure out leaders. There was just a lot to figure out if we're going to do that. But we might try. We might try to figure out, try to do it. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll get another one going a little later, but I appreciate you being here. Peace out.